Yes, people, we are back. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it is, and whatever part of the world that you're watching this, welcome back to the channel, Old Southern Pine. Now today, we are going to be seeing if we can't restore this old Case pocket knife. I got this pocket knife for $7 at a junk store. Now, Case is one of the most collectible brands of knives out there. This is a medium 44 Stockman style knife, and it's lost its main blade, so I couldn't tell you exactly how old this is, but we're going to go through this, see if we can't make this a worthwhile pocket knife to at least carry around and use. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to get right into it. Now, I don't have a proper workshop or anything like that, so we've just got a makeshift workbench out here in the garage. And like with all of my restoration videos, I try to do it with as little fancy equipment or specialized equipment as possible. Now, obviously, you do need a little bit of equipment to be able to do any kind of restoration project, but I try to make it so that it's something that just about anybody could do with most of the things that you would commonly find in somebody's garage. So let's go through what we're going to need. Probably the most important thing is safety equipment. So you're definitely going to want to have some gloves, some kind of ear protection, some goggles or a face mask to be able to protect your moneymaker. Second thing, the item that you are restoring, medium fine grade sandpaper. This is 220 grit, some kind of a wire wheel, a precision screwdriver set. If anybody got eyeglasses, then you've probably got something like this laying around. Some buffing components. This is Jeweler's Rouge buffing component, and then this is a plastics component. You will want mineral oil. Now, I've got food grade mineral oil right here because I plan to use this whenever I'm out camping to be able to cut up vegetables or food items or something like that. Now, if you're not as worried about something using it for food, you can easily go and just use like a baby oil or something like that. This is mostly just a lubricating compound. You're also going to want some kind of a flat-bottomed Tupperware container. This is the absolute cheapest container that I could find at Walmart. Needle nose pliers, good light source. Now, I've got my Workus mini light here. That's actually pretty great. It clips on, so you can put it onto your shirt if you need it to go hands-free. It's also magnetic, in case you need to stick it on the side of something. And it's got a good beam for being able to go broad as well as a tight-knit beam, which is what we're going to want to be able to see down into the smaller bits of this knife. You're going to want to have two fabric buffing wheels, either a desk-mounted buffing and grinding machine or just a power drill, some wood clamps so that you can lock that down, a wire brush, an old toothbrush, and then I've got some pipe cleaner here. You can also use folded up paper towels or anything like that, but pipe cleaners I find work better. And then you're going to want either a whetstone or some kind of a knife grinding wheel. Diving right into the star of the show. Now, this medium Stockman 44 pocket knife, a WR Case XX. These are one of the most collectible brands of pocket knives on this earth, and you know, a lot of people pay a lot of money for these things, and I found this one for $7 at a junk shop. So we're going to see if we can't breathe some extra life back into this. You can tell by looking at it. I mean, the blades are, you can see quite a bit of rust in here. The bolsters are pretty roughed up. The backs of the springs have got some rust on them. You see a little bit here on the sides where the synthetic handle has started to oxidize some. Let's get out our Workus mini light here. Get that turned on. You may be able to see down in there, that's also pretty gooed up down in there and pretty rusted as well. The blades have got some pretty good rust, as well as some patina on there. I'm not too worried about the patina, but I definitely want to get the rust out of it. And this one is pretty stuck in there. You can also see that this one's got a pretty decent chip in the blade, as does the penknife here on the end. And these should have some pretty good snap into them. They don't currently at all. That should snap into place. It's not really, so they're pretty rusted up. And you can also see that, man, that one's stiff. This one's got a little bit of a bent blade to it. That ought to, I shouldn't have to move that over to get it to go back into place. So we're going to hammer that straight. This is missing the entire main blade. That's something we're not going to be able to replace at this time, but that's something that we'll take a look at as a future project. You might be able to see right there that there is a decent little bow in there. Now, you don't necessarily have to have a ball peen hammer and an anvil, any hard surface, and pretty much any hammer will do, but this is what we have, so this is what we'll use. We're getting there. There we go. Now that nicely folds back into there. Now that we've got that blade hammered out straight again, we are going to take our work light here, a little workus light. We're going to shine that down there, and we're going to see if we can't scrape out some of this grime and rust with our precision screwdriver set. You are literally going through there, and you're not really trying to gouge the metal as much as you are just kind of lightly scraping along the top of it. Yeah, that is really nasty in there. So you can see with just a couple minutes of elbow grease and a little bit of attention to detail how much cleaner that is inside of there, how much crap we got knocked out of there. Take this and we'll just kind of work on a little on the edge of the knife blade here. A little on this side just to kind of get some of the thicker stuff off of it. We'll go back and get a lot more fine-tooth detail here in a little bit. Let's take our drill and one of our wood clamps. Take the second wood clamp. And get yourself a pretty good, pretty stable area there to work from. Put on our wire wheel attachment. Get our eye protection on, as well as our work gloves. Now you can use another clamp. Now we're going to take a little bit of that 220 grit sandpaper, fold it up into a square so you've got a little bit of a thicker edge, and just start running along in through here. Just sliding it into the grooves there and then just kind of work it back and forth a little bit. This will free up a lot of the rust that's on the sides. I mean, you can already see some of the nastiness that we got in there. Switch it over to this other side. And that'll just clean that housing up quite a bit. Take the toothbrush. You can really see that we're starting to get some shine in there pretty good. Still have a fair bit of grime and old nastiness kind of down in here by the blades, and in there we've got that's what the mineral oil is for. We'll clean that up here shortly. after we've let this sit for about an hour and soak, and I came back about every 20, 25 minutes. Pull it out and just sit there and continue to work the blades. Now this is already much smoother. You can leave it in there. I have left these in here for up to a night before, gone back the next day, really just to kind of let it soak in, but I think this is sitting there pretty good. You can already see it's getting some of that snap. There you go. See, it's starting to get some of that snap back. Same thing on this end. Oh yeah, that's good. Here, just it's all right. Snap. Yeah, there's a little bit of snap to it. Let's see on the other side here. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's good. So one of the things that I had wanted to do was the synthetic bone handle here had started to really just dry out. It had not been very well taken care of. So another great thing about this mineral oil is that it'll soak back into that and help kind of refreshen that. So now clean this off and just wipe it down with paper towels. And again, you can kind of see that mineral bath really does a good job of getting this all cleaned up. Some impressive snap that came back into that. A knife that has a hard blade to get out really gets stuck in there. It's called a nail breaker. For obvious reasons, you're using the thumbnail to pull that out. I gotta tell you, that pin blade right there was really hard to get out when we first started. That is opening up nicely now. Get some fresh paper towels, fold those up, grab one of our smaller screwdrivers here, fold that up, and just insert it and run it through. Again, see, we're getting how much that cleans up. That is impressive. The mineral oil just loosens up a lot of that grime. Makes it a whole lot nicer and easier to clean. I've been trying to do it by hand. Roll it over here. Do the same thing. A lot of this is really just repeating the process over and over again until it's clean, until it opens up. So it is definitely a project for patience and love. And it's the same thing with any restoration project. Anything that was old and beat up and that you're trying to bring back and get new again, or close to new again. It's definitely a labor of love. Man, look how shiny and clean that is in there already from how it was when we first started. And just continue to do that till it's clean, or as clean as you want it to get. We'll see, that's pretty clean. Another good wipe down on the towel, the handle there. Blades. I'm going to take that, fold it up into the paper towel, and continue to work it a little bit. And that handle's dirty. Take the other blade inside of here and just continue to do it. Now be careful if that blade is sharp. Now this one is not. Obviously it's pretty beat up and dull, but those blades are sharp. You want to be extra careful. I can't get over how smooth those are closing now. And I had really not expected that much snap to come back into it. Man, that's impressive. Now for most folks, that would already probably be just about good enough. But I think we can get a little bit more extra shine back into this. Let's take it over to the buffing wheel. Before we go over to the buffing wheel, I want to show you guys right here. This is called the nail nick. And that's where you put your thumbnail into, or your fingernail into, to get to lift the blade up out of the housing. And it can get really gross. So I always like to take precision screwdrivers And really just kind of get in there and just scratch at it a little bit. Get a lot of old grime out of there. Do the same thing over on this side. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that or not on here, but that is really getting some of that old blackness out of there and shining it right up. Oh, that was gross. All right, to the buffing wheel. Let's switch over to our buffing wheel. All right, so we're going to start with our Jeweler's Rouge wheel. Now you definitely want to wear a mask with this because these buffing agents are not something you want to be breathing in. Let's just take a piece of cotton, strip an old t-shirt really, and just kind of go through and get the excess buffing compounds off of there. Man, look how shiny that bolster is. Darn near see your reflection in that. That was all scuffed and grimed up, and much cleaner that knife blade is too. There's still a little bit of pitting and still a little bit of tarnish in there, and probably not a real good reason to go ahead and try to buff all of that out. You could if you wanted to, but a lot of times what you end up doing right there is getting too much metal taken off, which is not a good thing. Let's switch this Jeweler's Rouge wheel for a brand new reel, or brand new wheel, excuse me. And for this, we'll be using our plastic buffing compound. Make sure you put your mask back on for this one too. Once again, just get your t-shirt cloth, and just go back through and just give it a good wipe down. Be sure to get into all of those deep little ridges right in through there. Man, that's turning out pretty. Alright, you can see that we've got the start of a good edge. You can see it right there. It's a little harder to see, but it's still coming along pretty good. Time to get the whetstone. Got our whetstone on the rough setting, on the rough side here. Drop a little bit of oil down on here. Get your angle. Follow that same exact angle all the way down. Switch over to the other side. Getting pretty good and sharp right there on its own. There we go, that's getting pretty good. Switch it over to the fine honing side. A little more oil on there. Get your angle right. I'd say that's sharp enough. Well, here is the finished product. Good snap. Listen to that. Good snap going in. Decent snap right there. Really good snap on this side. That handle sure did rehydrate well. How shiny that sucker is. Sure did come out pretty. I genuinely enjoy restoring old things like this and giving them back some of the life that they should have had. And you know, this was a junk store $7 knife that is now something that is well worth carrying. I'm certainly going to carry this for years to come. I sure hope you guys have enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. If you enjoyed this kind of content, please give us a like and subscribe. And until we meet again under the old southern pine, stay safe and God bless.